Hey traders, market update time. Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, market update time. Let's talk about what's going on in the markets right now. It's very tricky, right? So let's actually start with that monthly chart. That should be a monthly chart over there. Let me start out with this monthly chart first, and let's actually go have a look at this. No, I don't want to print it. I want to enlarge that thing. All right, so monthly chart. What do we see on this monthly chart? Sort of a double bottom, sort of a triple top, slight high on this open high close chart. Very sideways action movement. I actually expected a lot more downward movement by the end of May. Now we've still got 1 week of May, but maybe I was wrong with the whole we're going to get a severe downward movement in the month of May. Now we haven't got that yet. Again, we've still got 1 week worth of action to go, and you can see this is what's happening on the line chart of the monthly chart of the Dow Jones. You can see that we're getting this sort of just sideways action, not really much. You can see it's really struggled past that. You know, we talk about monthly closing bar here, so you see it's just basically struggled around that sort of 17,000, 7,500 mark. It's actually struggled, and then you got this little sort of trough there. That's the monthly chart. Let's have a look at this here on the weekly chart. The weekly chart here, I was looking at Fibonacci levels, and let me see if I can bring my trendline drawing tools up, and I'm going to go pen, and we can actually see that this market here hasn't even gotten down to this level here, which is the 38% level. That's the 38% retracement. So we haven't even gotten down to that yet. So that's actually saying something. You would expect at least some moves to at least some pullback happening in the markets, and the market doesn't just keep going up. We get at least a pullback to the 38% and then a run, if that's going to be the case. Very rarely will we get a pullback like that. So we may get a little run up, but I don't think we're going to break these new highs. Looking on observation on that there. This is where the line chart here is, and you can see that the market has come down through here. We've got this low, and the market's rallied down through there. So even if we've got like a little rally up and then a rally down, that would be forming a head and shoulder formation on the weekly chart. So even if we've got like a little rally up towards the 17,700 mark, that would still be in line with the overall trend. Now, the one thing I want you guys to look at as well too is look at this line chart here for a minute, and I want to show you this here. So if I go to, let me just bring up just here, you can see here that when this market had a big run up, we had this low, we actually had a rally. You can actually see we actually had this rally up through here. After creating a lower trough, then a lower peak, we had a little rally around 50% of the move, and then we dropped down. This is a weekly line chart. Trough, lower trough. So we might get a little rally back to the 17,000, 17,500, and then maybe a drop off. So maybe that's what's coming now, or maybe that's what's coming next in the overall scheme of things. That's what the weekly chart looks like, and the daily chart one is the one that's really tricky right now. We've got a really good volume spike, very big volume spike, towering above everything else. We've got stochastics here, slight little divergence on the stochastics. We've got a lower low on the markets. So this actually looks quite strong on indicators, right? Markets making lower low, indicators are doing a little slight divergence, RSI is pointing up, big volume spike, yeehaw, away we go. But the thing is that if you look at the chart here itself, this is where you've got to be very intelligent about using the price action and using the indicators. The price action here for me, you can actually see that if I bring up just a blue line, you can actually see this line through here. That's where the market has actually struggled. You can see it actually ran up, came down, and closed there. So it's still testing these lows here. This support level is now becoming resistance. Let me do that in green. Now becoming resistance. So you can see it's actually holding there. So if we don't break above this level through here and follow through maybe even tonight, if we don't follow through that tonight and run up to this level through here and maybe and hit this lower resistance and then head down, if we don't do that, that's actually really, really weak sign, because everything looks like it's going to go down. But we may actually hold here and then head back down, because as you can see, it's actually held below this trend line here for quite some time now. So if I bring up this line here and we go that one there, you can see this whole line through here, and you got this line through there. You can see how the market's it's closed right. Let's go this one right here. You can see it's actually closed right there on the daily chart. That's actually quite a weak sign, especially when we had all these levels of support, and now we're testing this as resistance. It's quite a weak sign. Even though we got a towering volume, price action is not saying that it's not a true strong bar. What you want is that you want the market to show, okay, if this market came up here and closed above there like that, and had this nice strong up bar and a good volume, you would expect of the market to come down, test this support, and then maybe rally back up to this resistance level. Do you know what I mean? But because it hasn't done that, that's where it's a bit tricky. And you've got this like slight divergence, or maybe even like a double bottom on the stochastics. That's actually looking really bullish. But the price action is not bullish. So this is where you gotta I take price action over the indicators. The indicators are secondary, not the price. So the price action is saying, oh, don't know about that. Lots and lots and lots of moving through there. Now, if you go to the hourly chart, you can actually see what's happening on the hourly chart. This is really, really interesting. Look at this hourly chart on the Dow Jones. We are continuing to stair step down. So if we don't start to make a stair step up, we are going to continue to make this stair step down. You can see how it's just made these, and if I just bring up, you can see it's made these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows. It's been stair stepping down. So if we don't break, so even though everything looks looking okay, if we don't break this level through here, so I'll go, actually we'll go black. You can see that we have this line through this level through here. If we don't break, especially this level through here, which is that top level, that top peak, if we don't break past the 17,570 level, we don't break past it and close above it, then what's likely to happen is that this market's likely to continue straight down. But if it does hold here, we've got like this reversal bar here. If it does hold here and rally back up and close above it, well, now we're creating a stair step up, and yeah, I would expect like a little, then possibly another, another sort of, maybe another one or from where it is right now, maybe a nice 1 or 1.5% move to the high side back up to this area of resistance. But remember what I said on that weekly chart. That weekly chart for me is key. That weekly chart for me, when I'm looking at that, it's saying, remember, keep it on the eye on that big picture. We could just, even if that happens, we could be rallying up, and then maybe the move's coming in June or July. Because I did say at the start of the month that I do think this month's going to be a deadly month. We've still got 1 week left. It still may end up being a deadly month. We just don't know. But if this market fails here and doesn't close above this 17,000 or close above at least this 17,600 level on the daily chart, then you can see that was that peak through there. If you go through and you can see this 17,000 or this 17,600, then this market's likely to continue on down. But if it breaks this level through here, we're likely to continue up. So that's what I do see on the Dow Jones chart. But you can see it's a lot weaker. Now, if I go to the S&P chart, the S&P chart for me is a lot weaker in the nutshell. So now let's have a look at what the S&P has been doing, and by looking at the overall chart. So let's have a quick look at the monthly charts, just quickly. Monthly chart, line chart is actually a bit weaker there overall on the S&P on that line chart. Same for the open highlight close. If we have a look at the weekly chart here on the open highlight close, you can see just a bit of a doji, bit of a nothing day. But one thing I want to show you on this open highlight close chart, and this is obviously what I was talking about before as well too. I was talking about, you can see that this is now making lower highs on the week. So that's actually, remember that's a week sign. So it's the bears are still have it through here. If we do get a weekly close above this level through here, which is this 2070, call it 2080. If we do get a weekly above the 2000 and yeah, so a weekly close above 2080, a weekly close above that this week, that's a very bullish sign. And yes, we're likely to race to these highs up here really quickly. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll just see. But you can see that's what's happening through there on the weekly chart. So very weak sign, but you can see if I just bring up my trend line drawing tools, you can see that this point through here, and you can see how it's had problems, had that point through there as well, and you can see how this market's had a lot of problems through there as well, including this point right here. So the market runs up and closes above that level and does like that for the whole week this week. Yeah, the market's likely to come down, test support for the week, and then rally back up again. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't, but you never know. So that's basically what I'm looking at through there, and also looking at the daily chart as well too. Daily chart is actually a lot stronger than on the daily chart. The S&P is a lot stronger than the overall weekly charts, than the overall Dow Jones daily chart. You can see it's actually closing above this sort of trend line through here. So if I just take that off through there, and we take that off through there, you can see how we're getting a bounce at this bottom here. So we may get a little rally to the high side. It may be in SILJ we get a nice little 1% rally to the high side. I don't think this is going to rally up to new highs. I think this is going to falter through here, and then we're likely to start getting a big drop down. But maybe it pauses through here, because let me bring up this line chart. This is the same thing with the Dow Jones. You got this really nice divergence on the indicators, and markets rallying up, and we got an okay volume yesterday. It wasn't as big as the Dow Jones volume though. But let me show you the daily chart line chart, because this is really interesting and really key. You can actually see sometimes when you look at the open, highlight, close charts or the candlestick charts, sometimes it's very hard to see it. So that's why we're looking at the line chart. You can really see what's going on. And look where we are right now. If we look at the line chart for what that's telling you, you can see that's actually what we're seeing right now with overall. With this overall, obviously we have this left shoulder, this big head, this right shoulder, and we're at this sort of neckline right now. In fact, if I just bring up a line, and let me go we'll go a black line, you can actually see there's actually something through there. So maybe that is the neckline. And you can see, right? You can actually see if I bring up an arrow and say, let's bring up back to a green. Actually, you know what? We'll go blue. You can see it had the support through there, support through there, support through there, and a support through there. So maybe this is going to be resistance where it is right now, but you can see this on the line chart, right? I'm not making this up. I'm just following what the market's telling me. Maybe this little up bar maybe has a little bit more upward movement into this area through here, and then maybe we start to head down. Maybe the big drop starts then. Maybe that is this week. Or maybe it just turns around right now and starts to head back down. That's what you can't see on the open, highlight, close chart, right? You just can't see that, but you can see very clearly on this chart that you've had this rundown, this shoulder, this big head, and this shoulder. It's came down, bounced off it through there, came back down. So, and as you can see, and this is what the market's been doing, right? You can see this is overall been stepping down through there. So you can see the overall big head and shoulder formation. This actually may be a time where the market actually does stall and does falter through. You can see what I was doing there on the lines. You can see once you draw the lines, you can get a much more clearer view on that. So let's actually bring up the Russell now. So let's actually look at the Russell. Let's actually show you what I see on the Russell. So with the Russell has actually been one of the weakest out of the whole lot. If you bring up this line chart, you can see this line monthly chart, very lower peaks, lower troughs. So this line chart is actually starting to head down already. So you can see if I bring up and if I draw like a bit of a trend line, you can see. Let me just go a black trend line through here. You can see that this is actually just basically making highs through there. You have a bit of support through here and lots of support and resistance through there. So it's at that point right now where it looks like it's starting to roll over. You definitely have something going on through there, don't you? So maybe something going on through there. So that maybe that's that point through there. Is that point through there? So that's what we see on the monthly charts. Let's go have a look at the weekly chart. the weekly chart through here. This is obviously the so you can see like a little rally up. I think this is likely to start rolling over soon. You got this little rally up, so I think that's likely to roll over soon. And looking on the let's go to the line chart on the daily chart. This is the line chart for the daily chart as well too. You can see it's just been overall stepping down. It's popped back up. So really interesting times where we are right now, guys. There's not really a lot of movement, not really a lot of big movement, but I think the big moves are likely to start happening really quickly. So not really much to show you on the Russell, but the Nasdaq same thing, had his major low, made sort of slight lower peak, double top, and I think this is just likely to maybe roll here and then just roll straight down here. I think that's what we're likely to see. This is the monthly bar. This is basically what the month's done so far. Bit of neutral for the month, not up, not down, just slightly down. You can see there on the Nasdaq. So that's basically what I'm looking at there on the Nasdaq. So, and also looking at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is going exactly with what I was saying before. What happened last time? This is all scary identical. And remember, like last time, I was talking about like if I just bring up a pen and we'll go black. You can see, as I was saying before, right, that we ran up, ran down, made this lower trough, and then head down. We ran up, sort of somewhere through there. We came down, made this trough, and we stepped it down through here, made this lower trough, made this lower trough. That was a trough. Ran up, you can see that small little double top, made a small little double top, and then it ran down, and we had this hook up, and we ran down, and we had this hook up, and then now look at this here. Crazy identical with what's actually happening there on the line chart. So to me, guys, that's really weak overall. You cannot say that thing is bullish at all. If we start to break above and close above this level through here, which is basically the 4,900 and sort of 50 level, if we start closing above that level, then that's going to be something to keep an eye on for. But we're also looking at the weekly chart as well, daily chart as well too, on the line chart, and you can see how that this has just been going sideways for the last couple of months. We're still at this overall area of support, still sort of compressing down through here, so still waiting for a break above this level through here. If that's the case, maybe another nice sort of run up, or if it breaks this 4,070 level, 4,700 level, maybe that happens this week, and then maybe we get that big drop. Maybe this is the week we actually start to see some big movement in the markets. So that's basically what I see through there. Looking on other markets, guys, such as silver and also the gold. I also like to look at. I also see where we are right now. So you can see where we're at right now. Maybe we have a little bit more downward movement to come. That's what I'm thinking, and you can see where it's at right now. Maybe the stochastics get down a bit more, but to me that would be an overall buying opportunity. GLD for me. GLD once again, gold is right right at this support level, and you can see I've just drawn a trend line through there. You can see all this tops through here, and it's just come down to that support line. So we've got this sort of and if you look at this here, and I bring up my pen through here, bring up a line and a green, you can see you had this whole resistance through here, but you have this whole resistance support through here. So this is a bit of a support level and another support level, and you got a support level down here. If this thing opens and runs back up and closes above there, has a nice little run up, you have this resistance level coming down through there, which is like still creating like that nice bull flag out of it, then that may be the start of a breakout and a follow through to the upside. We will see, but it's definitely shaping up to be, if I squeeze this right up, this is definitely looking like an overall big bull flag. If you go from basically from there to there, you can see, if I just draw my trend lines, you can see it looks like it's just an overall big bull flag. Or if you're going to look at this on a different level, you can see that there's a couple of different patterns here that I was noticing on the weekend. And the first pattern that I want to show you is this one here. You've got this cup here, and you got like a little handle here, which is like a flag formation within little round, sort of like a round bottom with a flag and a breakout. What do we have here? We have a round bottom with a flag. So it's basically the exact same formation there. So we ran down, we had this round bottom, a flag and a breakout. They call it a coupling handle. I just saw it's a round bottom and a flag breakout. Round bottom, flag, and then that looks like it's going to come next. So this here is exactly like this here as well too. So overall, guys, maybe this is the week that we actually start to see more downward movement on the indices, especially looking on that S&P and also the Dow Jones. If you look at that once again, look at that S&P chart. Still actually looks really weak. We haven't actually got a big spike above there, so you can't rule out. And you can see that every time we've actually got to these levels through here, obviously through there and through there, all that whole level through there is a lot of resistance. So until we break it past by that, as I said before, the 2008 level, I'm still very bearish on this market, and I will be. Big picture to me is still very bearish as well too. So I'm expecting big things to happen soon. Looking on that, but then looking on the Dow Jones chart once again, guys, you can see the Dow Jones is actually a lot weaker. And remember what I said before. You look over here before this movement on the downside. You can see what we have. We had this lower peak and lower trough, and then we started breaking. The Dow Jones actually started breaking away from the S&P, and then we got the big pull down. You go to the S&P. What do we have before the big pull down? We actually had this higher peak and this lower trough through there. You can see that through there. So lower trough, then higher peak. This is actually looking a bit more bullish because it had the higher peak, and then we had the drop off. Makes sense. So that's the reason why, guys, I'm saying like, I'm not buying this this bullish move, because the Dow Jones, if it was bullish, we'd start to get some really big bull moves out of this market as well too. So there we go, guys. That's what I see for the week. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm not going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course, and I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.